Thank you for attending tonight's Fort Wayne Community School Board of School Trustees meeting. We start this meeting like we do every meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll begin the meeting with a roll call. Steve, if you could get started.
Sure. Good evening. Steve Corona from the 5th District.
Maria Norman, Member at Large.
Julie Hollingsworth, District 1.
Antoinette Payne, District 4.
Jennifer Mathias, District 2.
And I'm Noah Smith from District 3. And to my left is Dr. Daniel, our superintendent, and Angela Filler, the clerk of the board. Tonight, we want to start with awards and recognitions. Maria, are you up? Do you want to start one on Northside Wildsiders?
Absolutely. It is recommended that the board recognize Northside High School's Wildsiders as the ISMA Top Honor Band at the 2026 State Jazz Band Finals and named the Best Rhythm Section. There were also 2 solo winners. Northside was named Top Honor Band out of 9 jazz bands that qualified from across Indiana. Please come forward as we call your name so that we may congratulate you. And I'd like to apologize in advance if I butcher your name. Corey Carruthers, Best Saxophone Solo. Keegan McCord, Best Trombone Solo. Then we have Colin Butler, Claire Cooney, Jackson Cross, Nicholas Davenport, Jessica Diaz, Sydney Frinky, M. Grimm, Zen Gunawadhana, I'm so sorry, Roxy Gunter, Alvin Hernandez, Marvin's Jean Felix, DJ Musser, Noah Palmer, JP Ramsey, Owen Roney, Trevor Runyon, Jackson Smith, Miles Stocksliger, Ivor Stork, Kyler Tang, and we have Aaron King, band director, and Mr. David West, principal of Northside High School. Congratulations. 2 rows.
Steve up and running?
Yeah.
He's good.
He'll do the next one.
Okay, we're going to do the next one.
Okay. Parents, come on up.
Yes, parents, please get as close as you'd like.
This doesn't get to happen too often, although it's the last 2 out of 4 years. Yeah.
Steve, oh, you gonna ask him? Now?
Can I ask him anything?
Ready?
Never mind.
Next, Steve, would you recognize the Northrop Choir?
Thank you. And before, I was talking to Aaron King out in the lobby. I apologize for being a little late, but I just found out this morning that as president of the Indiana School Boards Association, I also have the opportunity to invite a band to perform at the opening session of the state conference October 5th. That's the good news. The bad news is that the band has to be in place by 8:25 in the morning. So I'm not sure when they would have to leave Fort Wayne, but one of the band parents said, that's a piece of cake. We've practiced in the rain at 1 a.m. in the morning. So anyways, if we can work out the details, I'd love to see Northside accept that invitation on behalf of Fort Wayne Community Schools. So anyway, the next item of business, it's recommended that the board recognize Northrop High School's show choirs for their successes at the March 21st ISMA Show Choir State Finals. Northrop Allure Show Choir came in 5th out of 8 places, and that was in the large school ununivoiced division. This is the highest placement for the Allure Show Choir in state competition. Northrop Charisma Show Choir came in 6th place out of the 8 finalist choirs that competed in the large school mixed voice division. So please come forward as I hopefully pronounced your name correctly. Carly Bear, Skylar Bollinger, Javon Boone, Mariana Briones, Talon Buell, Gabriel Denham, Xavier Holbrook, Alyssa Jonas, Genevieve Collenbeck, Rue Keene, Maya McGeever, Jude Rash, Nia Saparsit, and Kaylee Townsend. Andrew Budd is the choir director, and Rob Robeson is the principal. Congratulations.
You guys really know how to do this.
Yeah,
Sing for us?
Yeah.
find your window.
You guys give us a quick sample while you're smiling?
Thank you.
Sure. Go for it.
Sing for us.
Oh, they're gonna sing?
Good, wait a minute.
Prep for this.
Sweet?
All right.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Now,
Great job,
our
Chris.
next meeting is May 11th. If you'd like to come back,
Our next meeting is May 11th.
we can dispense with the pledge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Parents of the jazz band and choir families, you're welcome to leave if you like, or you can stay through this meeting with us. Thank you. Next, I'll take a motion for the consent agenda, which includes our vouchers and payrolls, our approval of minutes, and a personnel report. Can I get a motion?
I move for approval.
Thank you, Julie.
Second.
Thank you, Tony. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Dr. Daniel?
Yes, so a few announcements in regards to principals. I'd like to start off with J.R. Ankenbrook. Is J.R. here? Yep, there's J.R. J.R., come on down, man. He joined FWCS in 2003 as a Title I resource teacher at Geyer Middle School after starting his career in Indianapolis. He moved to Kikianga Middle School in 2004 as a social studies teacher before transitioning into administration in 2006 as an administrative intern at Miami Middle School. Mr. Ankenbrook later served as assistant principal at Franke Park in Kroninger and as principal at Washington, Holland, and Lincoln Elementary Schools. In 2024, he left FWCS to be the Director of Human Resources and later Director of Student Services in another district. I'll just say it's a joy to have you back, and where JR lands, you'll see improvement in academics as well as students wanting to attend his school. So, JR, thank you.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Glad to be back.
All right. Next individual is Mark Bailey, Kikianga Middle School Principal. Mark moves from Assessment Coordinator for Curriculum to Principal at Kikianga Middle School, returning to a school he previously led. He joined FWCS in 1992 as a math teacher and spent much of his career teaching at Southside High School. Mr. Bailey then moved to administration, serving as assistant principal at Snyder, Southside, and Northside High Schools. He was named principal of Lane Middle School in 2011 and joined Kikianga Middle School as assistant principal in 2017. He later served as a principal at Kikianga before taking on his most recent district role. And again, another one of those individuals that if we want to see academic improvement, that's who we call on. So welcome to that, back to that position, and we wish you the best of luck. Well, you don't need it, but good luck anyway.
Mark said I signed his graduation diploma in 1987, right?
Jennifer Evans, Abbott Elementary Principal. Jennifer moves from principal at Bloomingdale Elementary to principal at Abbott Elementary. She began her career in education in 1999 as a substitute teacher for FWCS. She taught English and social studies in 2 other districts before returning to FWCS in 2012. And she was the building coach at Northcrest Elementary. She was named principal of Maplewood Elementary in 2014 and later principal at Bloomingdale Elementary. Mrs. Evans now joins Abbott Elementary, and again, one of those individuals that when we want to see things move in positive directions, Jennifer makes that happen. Thank you, Jennifer, for taking on this role. Adam Basinger began his education career in 2010 as a school assistant at Fairfield Elementary. In 2012, he moved into the classroom full-time teaching 5th grade at Fairfield. During that time, he also served as an assistant basketball coach at Southside High School. Mr. Basinger joined Bloomingdale Elementary in 2022 as assistant principal. Under the tutelage of Jennifer Evans, he is now ready for the principalship at Bloomingdale. Congratulations. I'll just add this little bit. These are all great people, and we have great people in our buildings. We know we are being asked by the state to move metrics. We have to do that. That is our job. And they have great support coming from, I will say, outstanding principals that are now directors that will assist them in their leadership roles, but also in resources. And I want to thank Dr. Brown for moving this, because if we don't figure out how to move our student metrics, again, we cannot have. We're in the A through F era again. And as such, we need schools that are A, B, C schools. Yes, we can have some D schools that are moving in a positive direction, but we need to make sure that each and every one of our students has the leadership such as what these people provide. Leadership does make a difference. So thank you, Mr. Brown, for making this happen as well.
Thank you. Julie, if you wouldn't mind going over the school-based Medicaid reimbursement recommendation?
It's recommended that the board approve a contract with Go Solutions to provide Medicaid reimbursement services for a 2-year term, effective July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2028. Go Solutions offers a web-based platform for entering data related to eligible services with pricing that includes an annual software license fee of $8,000, a flat rate of 5.5% on reimbursed claims over the 2-year period, and a one-time implementation fee of $9,275. Eligible health-related services, including speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, individual psychological evaluations for special education students, as well as transportation services to access these services. Reimbursed funds will support the special education expenditures that would otherwise be paid from the education fund. And funding for this will come from the education fund. Jennifer Burning, Director of Special Education, and Stephanie Hess, Director of Business Services, will be available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Julie. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Steve. Other questions for Jen or Stephanie? I'll ask, these funds, not only to pay this, but if we don't receive the funds, I don't know who wants this, Jen or Stephanie, if we don't receive these funds for reimbursement, they're coming from the education fund, is that how I read this right?
You are correct.
Okay. And do we use the service right now?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a Medicaid billing service currently.
But this will replace that?
Yes.
Okay. And why do you think how do you think this will help compared to the old one?
Well, we did a complete RFP process, and through the process, we found there are some things we could be billing for that we haven't been able to yet.
And so you're hoping that this will generate more resources? or revenue
Absolutely.
For services provided?
Yes.
And approximately, I know I'm really testing you now, Jen, how short are we funded special education a year on an annual basis?
I'd have to get back with you on that. That's quite a lot. I can tell you that
It's
much.
generally in excess of over 10 million a year. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. So this will help help offset some of that
correct.
shortfall.
And I don't know, again, putting you on the spot and what we know so far, but what do we typically get in reimbursements?
So last year we were around 1.65 million, and it just depends how many evaluations we complete, how many speech services we complete, nursing, special ed busing, occupational therapy, physical therapy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Jen or Stephanie? Thank you, Jen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Tony, would you read the EduShift request?
I will. It is recommended that the board approve the appointment of EduShift, Inc. for evaluation and technical services for the U.S. Department of Education, expanding access to critical mental health supports for a yearly amount with adjustments of $175,000. EduShift, a 24-year-old research and evaluation organization, will provide process and outcome evaluation of each grant program using multiple validated assessment tools to provide ongoing analysis of program results. Expenses included evaluators' consultant fees, travel, supplies, office expenses, and computer-related costs. Evaluators will also provide management and technical support. This expense will be funded by each grant. Reagan Fry, Manager of Student Mental Health, and Dr. Griffin, Director of School Climate and Culture, are available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tony. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Jen.
Second.
Thank you, Maria. Do we have questions for Reagan or Dr. Griffin? Can you describe, either one of you, kind of what the plan is if this is approved, how it's going to be implemented and rolled out to either the schools or the students?
This is with the mental health grant, so it's the same amount that we've had each year for that. And it will go towards our evaluation of the grant, our reporting services. We did have one last year, there was not the report, so there's extra reporting that happens this year, but that standard 175 has been what has happened each year budgeted for the grant cycle.
So we've had this before?
So did you just say that it's a standard 175 per year, but this is a different evaluation this year than it was last year?
No, there was just one that was missed, but it doesn't change our cost. One was missed based on the government shutdown.
Okay.
When that report went through, then there was a lapse in when all those were being completed.
Can you remind me again how many years each grant, we have each grant for? And what's
Until
left?
December 31st, 27.
27?
Remind me, is this a federal or state grant?
Federal.
Thank you. Any other questions of Reagan? Thank you, Reagan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you. I'll read the next one. As recommended, the board approve the renewal of our Microsoft Enrollment for Education Solutions EES annual license agreement from Bell Technologics of Indianapolis, Indiana for $236,602.06. This annual Microsoft purchase provides Office 365, Windows, and Office licenses for all district-owned devices and includes many of the core data center products such as server operating systems, database servers, and desktop management tools. This purchase is being made pursuant to IC 5-22-10-4 as a special purchase for compatibility with existing systems. FWCS utilizes Microsoft products as part of its enterprise environment, and continuation of these services is necessary to maintain system integration, security, and operational continuity. Pricing established by Microsoft is consistent across authorized resellers. Funding will come from the Operations Fund, and Kevin Grubel, Director of Technology, is here to answer questions. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval?
Thank you, Julie.
Second.
Thank you, Jen. Questions for Kevin? So this not only gives us licensing for all the Microsoft products throughout the district on every device, but also some server stuff?
Yeah, that's correct. So everything in our data center that runs on our virtual environment was licensed through this program, as well as the user's computer license, the OS that we can manage, as well as Office, and then the cloud resources.
And is this a one-year or multi-year contract?
This is a third year of a 3-year agreement. So it is a 1-year renewal, but we're ending the 3rd-year contract. We'll go out for a price bid next year.
Is our databases and servers you mentioned, is that Microsoft-based then? The database servers and those other non-student-facing tools that we use for Microsoft, is that constructed mostly of Microsoft products?
Yeah, so we're predominantly a Microsoft SQL shop, but we do have a few other databases that vendors run in their software that's housed in a data center.
Okay. Other questions for Kevin? Thank you, Kevin. All those in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you, Jennifer. Can you read the next one?
It is recommended that the board approve a 2-year contract with McMahon's Best One Tire to provide school bus tires and related tire service effective July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2028 in the estimated amount of $325,000. Services include providing Tier 1 bus tires and retreads for a fleet of 240 buses as well as wheel refurbishing and alignment services, tire repairs and emergency roadside services. Funding will come from the Operations Fund, and Rashonda Armstrong, Director of Transportation, will answer our questions.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Steve. Any questions for Rashonda?
I do have one, maybe two. Do we take our vehicles to McMahon's, or do they come out to our garage?
Sorry. No, man, they come to us.
Okay. Great, thanks.
And was this put out for a bid? I didn't see any,
That is correct.
it was, okay.
Yes.
Is this the same vendor that we've used before?
Yes,
Or
they
is
was the best. They had the best offer.
this- Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions for Rashonda? Thank you, Rashonda. All those in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Steve, can you take the contract amendments for Snyder, Northside, and Wayne?
Sure. It is recommended the board approve a contract amendment with Hagerman for the athletic improvements at Snyder and Northside, and a contract amendment with Jones, Petrie, Rafinsky for the Wayne Site Improvements Project. The contract with Hagerman was originally approved on August of 2024, August 12th, actually, and previously amended on November 25th, 2024, and again on March 24, 2025, totaling an amount of $16,617. No, that's not right. I'm looking at too many numbers, and what's the number on there? Is it $16,617.89 or
16 million.
16 million?
617.
16 million. 617,896 cents. I apologize for that. The original contract with Jones Petrie Rafinsky was approved on March 10th, 2025, in the amount of $452,000. Board members have the information in greater detail on the projects. The contract amendment for the athletic facilities improvements at Snyder and Northside will utilize the 2024 general obligation bond and is within program budget. The contract amendment for the Wayne site improvements will utilize the 2020 school building basic renewal, restoration, and safety project fund, and also is within the program budget. Heather Krebs, facility director, is here to answer any of our questions.
Thank you, Steve. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Entertain a motion.
So
Susan.
moved.
Second?
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Jen. Do we have questions for Heather?
Yes. So Heather, that, for the improvements at Snyder and Northside, that's a pretty significant increase, like about 33%, I think.
Correct.
That's real math. So why the big increase? What's the scoop?
Well, we've added scope at Northside High School with savings that we realized from the overall project budget at Snyder. If you will recall, the total contract for Snyder also included adding the press box at Northside. That was part of the original contract. And then once we got in all of the subcontract bids and everything now is kind of settled in for Snyder, and we're getting ready to wrap that up, overall we realized a total budget savings of roughly 20%. And so we were able to reallocate that funding toward needs at Northside to add new concessions for them, because right now you have to go inside the building both to use the restrooms and to get concessions, and there are also no services on the visitor side. So as part of this, we're adding a small concessions and restroom building on the visitor side. We're adding a small ticketing booth at the visitor's entrance, and then also refurbishing the concessions area and adding restrooms on the home side.
Okay. Big win.
Big win.
Okay, thank you.
I want to thank Heather and Jade
Steffen.
for, and Principal Hissong for giving me a tour of the Snyder Stadium, in which she shared some of this wonderful news. The stadium looks great. Can't wait to see the finished product. I challenged Heather and Rosie with our next savings to work on the South Side Stadium bathrooms and Snyder baseball and soccer practice field bathrooms, of which there are none. So anyway, great job with your team on creating that cost savings and creating this opportunity for the Northside and Wayne families and students. Any other questions for Heather on this issue? Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Maria,
Thank you.
can you go to the next one?
Yep,
Oh, wait, who just did that one?
Steve.
Yeah, so Maria. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
No worries. It is recommended that the board approve a construction contract with Schinkel Construction for Southside Athletic Annex baseball and locker improvements in the amount of $810,380. The Southside Athletic Annex baseball and locker improvements will be funded through the 2024 general obligation bond and the 2026 operations funds, and are within the within the program's budget, and Heather is still here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Maria. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Maria. Thank you, Julie. Questions for Heather?
Yes. So that little athletic building there, I assume the lockers in that, those are the ones that are being replaced?
That's correct.
Has that building ever been recently renovated? Is it still one big locker room that used to be for football and one little locker room for other stuff?
That is also still correct.
Okay. So do both softball and baseball use that locker room?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Good. Probably soccer, too?
Yes, when they're out there. And we hold cross-country out there as well.
Right, right. Okay, great. Is there any plan ever to renovate that building? And make, like-
That building is being renovated as part of,
Oh,
that's
it
what,
is?
that's
Well-
what this is, yes.
I assumed it was just locker replacements.
No. This,
No, I mean when it comes to the structure of the building.
There's not major structural improvements, but this is renovating all of the plumbing fixtures, bringing the bathrooms up to date.
Right.
Yes, renovating those locker areas.
Okay, great. Thanks.
You seem intimately familiar with that space, Julie.
I am.
AD at Elmhurst for a number of years. Any other questions for Heather? Thank you, Heather. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Julie, can you do the next one on middle school classroom furniture?
Yes, it's recommended that the board approve the purchase of classroom furniture as follows. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, well, one's listed twice. So 6 different companies for various amounts. And the total is $1,613,014.62. This purchase will provide new classroom furniture at Blackhawk, Jefferson, Miami, Northwood, and Shawnee middle schools, and new STEM classroom furniture at all middle schools. The furniture will be installed during the summer of 2026. Pricing was obtained utilizing the special exception purchasing method pursuant to Indiana Code. Funding will be from the 2026 General Obligation Bond and 2026 Facilities Improvements Lease Bond. And Heather Krebs is still available to answer any questions.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Jen. Questions for Heather?
So this new furniture throughout the entire buildings of those schools?
Yes. So all student classroom areas will receive new furniture. And that includes, about a month ago, I brought another recommendation to you that included all of the student desks, student chairs. This recommendation includes all the other miscellaneous pieces, science rooms, STEM classrooms, basically specialty spaces that took a little longer to sort out exactly what we were going to put in them.
So when we're done, all these schools will have all new furniture for the most part?
For the most part, yes.
And how long would you say, I know that you told us in the past that you've worked really hard to find quality furniture, that we look at these, and some people question the amount, but the longevity of the quality of these furniture lasts how long?
Many of the furniture pieces that are currently in our buildings are upwards of 40 to 50 years old.
Wow. You might approve those, Steve.
So I could I could buy like one of my old desks.
If you'd like to come out and take a look.
Yeah, what does happen to all the?
Yeah, where will all the old furniture go?
Most of it will be thrown away. It's just well beyond its useful life. Those items that are still in good shape and can be reused will be reallocated toward other buildings. I'm constantly getting requests for replacements for broken pieces at other buildings, so we will supplement using the pieces that are still in good shape.
Okay.
That's been a question posed to me is, in this case, we're replacing furniture, other places we're shifting furniture around. How does a teacher who wants to update their little room and maybe think one school is getting rid of something that has better furniture than theirs, how do they go about that?
Typically, if they're looking for something, they can go to their principal and ask them to put in a furniture request, which comes through our warehouse and then through facilities. And if we have pieces that we can accommodate with, we will gladly do so.
So if they know or think they know something's being disposed of from one school, and should they just identify that in the subject line, hey, I want this school's old stuff, it's better than what I got?
Well, I will say that the things that we have, we already have a pretty lengthy list of where to look to put them, but we are, like I said, we are always willing to take those lists from principals towards potential needs, and we will fill them as we're able.
Any more questions for Heather? Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Tony, can you read the next one?
Yes. It is recommended that the board approve an additional expenditure not to exceed $400,000 to commercial food systems for the purchase of food products and supplies for nutrition services through July 31st, 2026. These purchases provide food products required for the school breakfast program and national school lunch program that are not available through our vendors. The products meet Fort Wayne Community Schools specifications for USDA meal pattern crediting, allergen-free menus, and operational packaging. Vendor selection is based on specification compliance and pricing in accordance with 2 CFR 200 and applicable child nutrition regulations. In accordance with the Indiana Code 522-10-8, purchases may be made from a single source when only that vendor can supply products meeting the required specifications. Additionally, Indiana Code 522-10-5 authorizes purchases that result in savings to the governmental body. Funding will come from the Nutrition Services Fund, and Felipe Guerrera, Director of Nutrition Services, available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tony. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Steve.
Second.
Thank you, Maria. Do we have questions for Felipe?
Felipe, what exactly is Commercial Foods providing us? Is it prepackaged material?
They're mainly a distributor for shelf-stable items like crackers, breakfast bars, juice, condiments, spices, things of that nature.
A lot of supplemental items.
Correct.
Have we purchased from them in the past?
Yes, every year. So 2 years ago, we moved from a line item bid to a GPO, and even though we have a GPO and a prime vendor that we get the majority of our items from, we still do our due diligence to look at other distributors, and Commercial Food Service just has better pricing, and they meet the specs of what we're looking for, especially when it comes to our allergen-free items and the breakfast items that we pack at the Nutrition Process Center.
Any other questions for Felipe? Thank you, Felipe. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Me. It is recommended that the board approve the acceptance of the Title III Grant 2025-2027 from the Indiana Department of Education in the amount of $615,734. Funds from this grant will allow for the continuation of a range of supplemental services for the district's multilingual learners program. The grant supports supplemental instructional materials, professional learning staff, and family engagement. Kim Brooks, Director of Federal Programs, will be available to answer questions. Entertain motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Julie. Kim, does anybody have questions for Kim?
Yeah, Kim, can you remind me, and it's Title IV, correct?
It's Title III is what this says. but-
I might be on the wrong one.
You might be on the next one.
Oh, yes, I went too far. Okay, Title III?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Supplemental instruction, okay. I was right. I answered my own question. I was on the wrong recommendation.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
We have so many acronyms in education that we all try to keep up, but when did we switch from ELL to MLL? I mean, what made that, I know that that's crazy, but sometimes those come through to us and we just talk about MLL and such,
Yeah.
and I'd like to know who we're talking about when we're talking about it. So when was that changed?
It was about a year ago when we did a little bit of reorganizing and restructuring of our program from English language learners to multilingual learners.
Okay, makes sense. Just like to stay on top of that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And is this a 2 full year grant, or is it a 25 to 27, I guess?
Yes.
We're almost done with it, I guess, but.
Yes, we are. It always begins July 1 of the first year and it ends September 30 of the last year. So from July 1, 2025 to September 30th of 2027.
And how many students in the MLL population do we serve currently?
I knew you would ask that. I found out the number today, 4,462 students.
4,462.
Correct.
About 28,000, almost 30, so almost 1/7 to 1/6. Thank you. Other questions for Kim? Thank you, Kim. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Jennifer, you do the Title IV grant?
It is recommended the board approve the acceptance of the Title IV Part A Grant 2025 to 2027 from the Indiana Department of Education in the amount of $1,064,539.74. Title IV Part A funding is provided to schools under the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA. It is intended to improve students' academic achievement within three focus areas: well-rounded education, safe and healthy students, and technology use and integration. The allocation is based on enrollments both public and non-public schools housed within the geographic boundary of the Fort Wayne Community Schools District. The amount of $232,257.26 has been allocated to serve identified non-public schools for the Title IV Part A purpose. And Kim is still here.
Thank you, Jen. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Julie. Do we have questions for Kim on this grant? No questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Steve. Could you go to the Title II grant?
It is recommended the board approve the acceptance of the Title II Part A grant for federal fiscal year 2025 for usage during the 2025-27 school years from the Indiana Department of Education in the amount of $1,752,164.48. I get that right?
Yeah, you did. Good job.
Title II Part A funding is provided to schools under the Every Student Succeeds Act, better known as ESSA. The allocation is based on enrollments from both public and non-public schools housed within our attendance boundary. The amount of $378,157.22 has been allocated to serve identified non-public schools for this funding. Title II Part A is an entitlement grant provided to supplement the educational fund. The dollars will be used to implement professional learning activities as needed to further educators' capacity to support students in increasing academic achievement, and Kimberly is still here.
Thank you, Steve. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Julie. Questions for Kimberly on this request? She gets to go home after this, I think. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Kimberly. Maria, if you could go to Lexia Adoptive.
Yep. It is recommended that the board approve the purchase of a one-year district-wide license for Lexia, an adaptive literacy program, in the amount of $312,556.81. Lexia is an adaptive online program that provides personalized instruction grounded in the science of reading. After 2 years of district-wide implementation across our elementary schools, student data and consistent educator feedback indicate that Lexia is supporting meaningful growth in literacy. Based on these outcomes, we are renewing our commitment to Lexia as a key component of our district-wide literacy framework. The funding will come from the textbook rental fund, and Shannon Quigley, Director of Elementary Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, will be available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Maria. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Tony. Questions for Shannon Quigley?
Yes. Shannon, do we have other resources available in terms of is this the main thing that we're using in our elementary schools?
No, this is our main digital platform that also provides teachers with resources that are non-digital. It's not our core curriculum, but it is a supplement to help us fill gaps for student achievement.
Okay. And does the textbook rental fund Does it have enough funds in it to cover this entire contract?
Yes, I believe so.
Fellow board members, I just happened to be speaking with a couple elementary school teachers the other day who the words were, Lexi is worth every penny at the elementary level. And they've seen that it helps those teachers as a tool, and the increases that they've seen using them. And it just was a comment. We were just talking about reading and reading levels. So that just happened to pop up this week. So I'm very confident that Shannon and her team has done due diligence in speaking with and utilizing in our stakeholders' information feedback.
And then how are we using it? Which grade levels, or is it all, K-5? Is it specific students pulled out to use this, or how are we using this
No,
program?
it is used K-5, and typically students are using it in their classrooms. So when their teacher's working with a small group, this still gives them the ability to have individualized instruction happening. Teachers can monitor the progress, and if kids are needing extra support, it kind of alerts the teacher so that they can then possibly have an intervention teacher or a special education teacher also utilize the same resource to support their learning.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Shannon? Thank you, Shannon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Can Julie read Quaver?
Quaver. It's recommended that the board approve a 6-year adoption renewal of a district-wide license for Quaver, a K-5 music curriculum in the amount of $291,060. Quaver Music is a comprehensive digital resource that supports K-5 music instruction through interactive, standards-aligned lessons and activities. Based on educator feedback, Quaver increases student engagement while supporting the development of foundational music skills and concepts. Funding will come from the textbook rental fund, and Shannon Quigley is still available to answer any questions.
Thank you. I entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Steve. Questions for Shannon for the music curriculum?
Yeah, Shannon, are students using this program or curriculum in classrooms?
It does have a digital component. Kids could log in to have some activities, but it's primarily used for teachers for lesson planning and curricular resources.
Okay, yeah, because my student logged into this during COVID, and
Yeah, I don't see it as often in the music classroom, but sometimes if needed, they will have them bring their devices to do something with them.
okay, cool.
Thank you. Any other questions for Shannon? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Shannon. Next, Tony, would you read the Discovery Education?
Yes. It is recommended that the board approve the purchase of a 6-year district-wide license for Discovery Education for elementary science adoption in the amount of $899,998.10. Discovery Science is a comprehensive digital resource that supports elementary science instruction through engaging standard-aligned content. Based on educator feedback during a district pilot, Discovery Science was selected by teachers. Discovery Science will align to our ELA curriculum and strengthen science instruction, ensuring consistent access to high-quality materials across all elementary schools. Funding will come from the textbook rental fund, and Shannon Quigley, Director of Elementary Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment, will still be available for questions.
Entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Jen. Questions for Shannon?
We've partnered with Discovery for a bit.
We have partnered in the past. We currently, at the elementary level, do not have that as our curricular resource. We've used a different program for the last few years, so this is kind of a new tool for teachers again.
And so this will be the tool, because I know when we partnered with them before, it was kind of a, I don't know, opt-in for lack of better term, but there's going to be usage of this.
Yeah, this is the core science curriculum, and what we teachers liked about it is it does align with our ELA curriculum, so when they're in a unit or domain, they can select that, and it will have science-aligned lessons. So it's a really cohesive program from one subject area to the next.
Okay, thank you.
And what grades is this being utilized in?
This will be K-5.
So this replaces the current,
Yes.
and the current one's out of contract, and we're now moving on to this one?
Yes, this is we actually renewed with them last year as a 1-year extension, so this is a new adoption.
And it talks about the district that piloted it. And some of our supplemental information was provided, the one we'll be talking about in a little bit on social studies. Could you talk a little bit about how adoptions like this come about?
Sure. Usually it's about a year-long process where we will source different curriculums that teachers either have requested or are on the high-quality instructional material list from the state. Through that process, we will work with teachers to have a pilot of the materials that could possibly be selected, where teachers usually have full access to implement, to use the lessons, and then that goes through a review or feedback process, and then one would be recommended for adoption.
So a little preview into the social studies I'm looking at that was provided to us earlier is the social studies one, and I guess I'm asking you to compare it to this one, began last January, and then went through various data research, vision, piloted training in the fall, and then consensus and review in January to get to this point.
Yeah, so last fall, in September, October, we got the finalists who we would be introducing to teachers to pilot. In December, we started the training for teachers. We opened up training or option to pilot to all buildings or all teachers who wanted to participate. We had one rep from, at least from every building. We had about 45 teachers who did a full implementation pilot, and they met regularly to provide feedback or ask questions of the vendors, and then now we're moving forward with the adoption.
So this is Discovery Science was just piloted beginning in December of 25?
So yes, we did review of curriculums in the fall, and then the selected curriculums were available to pilots. We did 2 science pilots, Discovery and another vendor, and then Discovery was selected from the teachers.
And that's over the last 60, 90 days of piloting?
Correct.
Okay.
Some teachers had been utilizing it as a supplemental resource in the past, so some had experience with it prior, and that's usually how we can identify materials that teachers are looking to utilize as well.
And you said teachers from each building were represented?
Yes.
In this process?
And I'm assuming since we are really focusing on our reading and our math, I'm reading that it aligns with the ELA curriculum. Is that the driving force for?
That was one of the highlights that teachers really liked because of the time that they need to fully implement a separate concept is really not always available. So this really helps them to streamline the focus on science standards because it will align with their ELA work.
Any questions for Shannon? Thank you, Shannon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. It is recommended that the board approve a 6-year adoption renewal McGraw-Hill for integrated physics, chemistry, earth, space, science, and physics in the amount of $284,337.73. McGraw-Hill Inspire Science is a comprehensive high school curriculum aligned to state and national standards, designed to engage students in inquiry-based learning and real-world problem-solving through the proven 5E instructional framework. This 6-year adoption recommendation ensures a consistent, high-quality learning trajectory that shifts students from passive observers to active investigators in the physical phenomena. Funding will come from the textbook rental. Dave Meyer, Secondary STEAM Coordinator, and Courtney Lumley, Director of Secondary Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, will be available to answer questions. Entertain a motion.
Move for approval?
Second.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Maria. Questions for Courtney or Dave? I'll ask, as I asked Shannon, and I'll let whoever wants to go. Again, the one that was provided for social studies, I just want to compare it to these other items we're looking to adopt. This began last January. Could you talk us through the process of how this came about?
Correct. It was very similar that Shannon had described. So we took teacher input. We had a list from the state for the highly qualified instructional materials to go from, which is why we extended our current contract for a year. Went through and teachers were provided a sandbox so they could get in. We started with about 6 or 7 different vendors to take a look at different options, and based on that, we narrowed it down and then had teachers pilot. And we had roughly, Dave, you can speak to this, probably about 15 middle school teachers pilot, and about 10 for high school.
And did the pilot run last fall or just also in December to now, roughly?
Yeah, so it was this fall. So from August to December, they received training in the summer from the vendors, and then they had 1 semester to fully implement it.
And you said we had 10 in middle school and 5 in high school?
We had 10 in high school and about 15 in middle school.
So every school was represented?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe we had about 3 out of the 5 high schools participate, and then I think we had about 7 middle schools participate.
But at roughly 25 participants, does that represent how many science teachers in middle school and high school do we have?
We have close to I believe, 125 science teachers. I'm trying to think in all. So about 20%.
Any other questions for Dave or Courtney on this topic?
Yeah, can I ask you, what is the 5E instructional framework?
Yeah, so 5E instructional framework is a model for how to set up a lesson to help kids problem solve. And so as we're moving forward with STEM, we're trying to integrate it not just within science, but also within math classes as well. 5E is a model for students to engage in classroom activities that will help them explore ideas rather than them just giving the information or getting the information.
Any other questions? Thank you, Dave and Courtney. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Next, we have Savas Science. Jennifer.
It is recommended that the board approve a 6-year adoption and renewal of Savas Science for 6 through 8 biology and chemistry in the amount of $1,063,875. Sorry. Savas Science is a comprehensive science curriculum aligned to the state and national standards designed to engage students in critical thinking and real-world problem solving. These resources provide teachers with a cohesive 6-year pathway that bridges the gap between middle school discovery and high school mastery. This adoption ensures our students have access to consistent cutting-edge learning environment that prepares them for STEM careers of the future. Funding will come from the textbook rental. Dave and Courtney are still here.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Maria.
Second.
Thank you, Julie. Questions for Dave and Courtney on this one?
This is online software, not books?
It's both and. So the teachers really asked for, both middle school and high school, they asked for physical workbooks. And so last adoption, we had, for the middle school, we had 3 years of workbooks. This year, we were able to provide 6 years of those workbooks. And part of that was a push for the literacy. And so all of the high schools will have classroom sets as well, along with digital activities as well.
Any other questions for Dave or Courtney?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, what's the 6-year pathway? I mean,
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, biology, chemistry.
Yeah, so this is looking from 6th through 12th grade. And so this is looking at not just biology, integrated chemistry, and in chemistry as well. We're also looking at physics. And so this is also tagging along with all the AP courses and all the additional science courses that we have too.
Do we
So
currently?
student,
Go ahead, go ahead.
okay. So students have a workbook for their science course, and then in the classroom, there's a set of textbooks to be used in classes.
It depends on the class. Middle schools will be focused on workbooks that they will be writing in, and so that's a consumable resource that teachers will and students will get new ones every year. There will be physical textbooks for the high schools.
So this is 6 through 8 and high school biology and high school chemistry, and you mentioned high school physics.
Yes.
And so this is all from the same provider, so there should be a clear and consistent path?
Yes.
Do we have that today or no?
We do. So we currently do have Savas as well. And so our committee decided to recommit with Savas. One of the caveats was our ICP classes, our integrated chemistry physics classes. Right now, they're currently using a 2014 textbook that's outdated. And so that's why we did not renew with Savas with ICP. And so that's why we moved forward with McGraw-Hill.
And that was the one just above this one?
Yes.
Any other questions?
A lot has changed in 12 years, huh?
Questions?
We've been around the moon, Steve.
Very good.
Just out of curiosity, why was Savas chosen for science, biology, and chemistry, but McGraw-Hill was chosen for earth, space science, and physics chem. That's
Yeah, so we opened it up to the teachers because of the ICP question. So as we opened it up to the committee, we saw that there was a gap for the ICP textbook. And so as we did this, our physics teachers and our earth space science teachers decided that McGraw-Hill was the better option moving forward in terms of the content. And so the physics teachers had some concerns about the Savas physics textbooks along with our space as well.
Which speaks to the importance of the pilot.
Yes.
Because we learned that during the process. So it was important that we were able to provide that opportunity to be able to come to this consensus at the end.
But the consensus is 6 through 8, Savas is okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And that was feedback you said you got from the teachers that piloted this program?
Yep.
Thank you. Questions? Thank you both. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Steve, McGraw-Hill Social Studies adoption, please.
Yes, sir. It is recommended that the board approve a 6-year adoption renewal of McGraw-Hill Social Studies, grades 6 through 8, U.S. History, World History, Government, Economics, Geography, Psychology, and Sociology in the amount of $1,732,126.82. McGraw-Hill Social Studies is a comprehensive curriculum aligned to state and national standards, designed to engage students in critical thinking and real-world problem solving through a robust inquiry-based framework. This 6-year adoption recommendation provides a seamless vertical pathway from middle school to high school in order to transform students into informed, active citizens by centering instruction on compelling questions and the analysis of primary sources. The curriculum moves beyond memorization to foster deep historical and civil reasoning. And funding is again going to come from our textbook rental fund. Joshua Conan and Courtney are still with us here today.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you. Maria, thank you. Jennifer, questions for Joshua Conan and Courtney Lumley?
Are these, again, digital textbooks with textbooks in the classrooms?
Yes, I'll get to the mic, but yes, so this gives every student and every teacher the online digital access, and then it also provides a classroom set. So every teacher that teaches the course will have a classroom set in there of 30 books for their classroom. So every class has a hard copy as well as the digital access for each student.
And how often are the hard copies actually pulled out, set on kids' desk, and everybody open up their book anymore?
Not as often, but you'd be surprised how many kids truthfully like to actually get into the reading and the hard copy sometimes. As we went through the pilot phase, there's just so many that struggle maybe to stay focused while reading it on the online platform sometimes. So just having that hard copy is such a resource to read through, to take note of, to see some of the images on there just in that. And so also any student that might be having an issue with technology that day, their Wi-Fi, their computer's out, they left it at home, having those in-person resources is still vital to continue with instruction.
Well, if it was up to me, we'd all have textbooks again, but it's not all the way up to me. I saw a student back there shaking his head yes the whole time when you're like flipping through the pages. That's me. Thank you for the explanation.
And Josh, we were provided again with this implementation. About how many teachers participated in this implementation?
Yeah, we went across 2 different platforms. So we had our teachers spread out close to about that 25 mark that were spread across 2 different platforms piloting. We currently actually already have McGraw-Hill for our 9 to 12 social studies curriculum. But I was glad you asked that to Dave earlier. This alignment is a much more seamless, not for our students to use, our teachers to use, training purposes, also just to see the curriculum is transitioning to a more inquiry-based curriculum. So not just saying, hey, let's memorize who was present, something that is that's something you can Google per se, but how do I interact with what happened, why were decisions made? They said the famous mantra, history repeats itself, trying to have our students think through some of those things.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you give us a specific example? Is it inquiry-based?
Yeah, so inquiry-based, really putting the students into saying, let's say that our founding fathers, and we're looking at the Constitution per se, having them come up with what are some values that they would hold true or that they would think are important. And so putting them in the lens of those founding fathers and saying, instead of just saying, hey, here's what it is, read the Constitution like we all did, saying, hey, if you had to go back and do this, what would you look at and say are some things that you'd have done differently? How would you adapt this? Or what are some things that are still true and near and dear to our heart? Having the kids look at it from a different lens instead of what some of us might have done is read it, highlight a couple keywords and say, this was the Constitution, it was written at this time, this date by these people. But instead of saying, how is it actually impacting society still? How are we referencing the Constitution? Those type of questions.
Thank you.
Any questions for Josh?
Do we teach geography as a standalone course, or is that there?
One high school still has geography as a standalone course. Northrop High School still offers it as a standalone. So Northrop does still offer it. With diploma requirement, you're looking at history, world history, or geography. Northrop still offers it.
Okay.
That's one of the things I don't like about Google Maps or Waze. I can't see kind of where, it's just, let's go this way, right? Can't see all that you went through and stuff like that by a good old-fashioned map.
You can always zoom it out a little bit and see the big picture.
Fat finger it wrong. Any questions for Josh? Thank you, Josh. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Maria, the Museum of Art.
It is recommended that the board reappoint Matt Schiebel and appoint Courtney Lumley to the board of the Fort Wayne Museum of Art for 3-year terms. Both have agreed to serve as members of this board. The Board of School Trustees of the Fort Wayne Community Schools is entitled to appoint 2 members to the board of the Fort Wayne Museum of Art. This will be Matt's second and last term, as members may not serve more than 2 consecutive terms. Courtney, who is the Director of Middle Schools and Secondary Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, replaces Josh Raikkonen. The 3-year terms begin June 1st, 2026, and will end May 31st, 2029.
Thank you, Maria. I'll entertain a motion.
Move for approval?
Second.
Thank you both. And there's really no questions. I'm sure Josh shed many tears as he hands over the gavel to Courtney. You may have questions about this, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Julie, would you read the appointment of Deputy Treasurer?
Congrats, board members. It's recommended that Bridget Godwin be appointed as Deputy Treasurer for the calendar year 2026, and that bonds for these positions be set as follows. Deputy Treasurer, $50,000. It is further recommended that the administration be granted authority to execute any corporate resolutions required by the various banking depositories. Indiana Code provides for an appointment of a treasurer and deputy treasurers at the same time that the board organizes. Ms. Godwin started with the district after this date as fiscal affairs manager. She will serve as a deputy treasurer along with the full-time deputy treasurer, Angela Ridge. And Director of Fiscal Affairs, Michelle Kamak, and Treasurer Sherry Neidlinger, all of whom were appointed in January. Indiana Code provides that the treasurer and deputy treasurers give a bond for the faithful performance of duty in an amount determined by the governing body. And Rosie Shipman, Chief Financial Officer, is available to answer any questions.
Thank you. I'll entertain motion.
Move for approval?
Thank you, Julie.
Second.
Thank you, Maria. Questions for Rosie?
Rosie, we're doing this now because somebody's retired, or?
We actually have a retirement June 1, and so Bridget is taking over that position that the person holds.
Thanks.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Tony, will you do the next one?
Sure. It is recommended that the board accept the Teacher Appreciation Grant funding from the Indiana Department of Education in the amount of $1,020,431.53. Last year, the Indiana legislature overhauled Indiana's Teacher Appreciation Grant program with HEA 1001 2025 changing it from a broad evaluation-based bonus system to a limited model that ties eligibility to student impact and outcomes. With these funds, FWCS plans to pay teachers who met criteria designated under the new state-controlled framework. Selected teachers will receive their grants on May 15, 2026. Michelle Bosworth, Chief Human Resource Officer, is available to answer any questions.
Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Questions for Michelle?
This actually turned out to be controversial in the state, with I think some districts not accepting the money. Now, I understand that it required us to identify recipients of this. How did we come to this decision?
So we took the classroom rosters from 24-25 for any student who was enrolled for at least 162 days and utilized national and state testing criteria for the specific grade levels to identify the top 17.75% of teachers in those areas.
So for the money that was left on the table, did you offer to take it?
We will happily take it. Unfortunately, that's not how it works.
I'm glad we did, because I'm disappointed in the mixed message school districts sent to the General Assembly, because then they may say next year, well, they didn't take it. We're not going to give it to them again, and then we're out.
Correct.
So glad we did.
Part of the controversy, I think, isn't it only that was it 20%? There was a limit of 20% as to how many teachers from any district could be eligible for the grant?
Yeah, the maximum was 20%. With the funding that we were given, we couldn't even get to 20%.
We did not get to 20%?
No. 17.75% with the dollars that they gave us is what we could do.
So how did we get to the 20% then?
No, 17.75% is all of all the funding that they gave us that would allow us to get to that percentage.
I don't know if you're allowed to say, but how many teachers then, like, do you have a number of teachers that will receive the grant?
So if you do the math for the tiers, it's 291.5. We're making up the difference to make it a whole 292.
292. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And is this going throughout elementary, middle, and high school teachers?
It is.
And specials teachers or music band, blah, blah, blah?
Yes, we included everyone.
Any questions for Michelle? Thank you, Michelle. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Now, Adrian Schroyer, Director of College and Career Readiness and School Counseling, will be presenting an overview of the Higher Education Coalition. Her presentation will provide an overview of the Higher Education Coalition's purpose, current membership, and key areas of focus. She will be joined by Todd Rupert, Northrop Coordinator of School Counseling, who will be available to support any school-related questions.
Is this going to start for me?
All right, I think that someone will come and start this. Oh, here we go. All right, perfect. Thank you. Good evening, and I am excited to be here tonight. And I saw 4 students, by the way, that were from Northside that went on a college tour with me over spring break for an Ivy League tour. So that was pretty incredible just to see their faces again. So our Higher Ed Coalition was put together by Dr. Daniel, and I am proud to be a part of that. And maybe some of you know what's going on with it and some don't, but really our heart lies in with our free dual credits that we are wanting our partner universities to offer our students. And it also is expanding our work that we are doing with our staff, with our students, and getting them onto the campuses of the schools. So, and another piece is there's a guaranteed admission that we have with our universities that a 2.0 and higher, some of the schools are agreeing to, and a 2.5 and higher. So I'll talk a little bit about that. With the progress through our Higher Ed Coalition, when I was introduced to it, the first thing that I did was I sat down with all the universities that were partnering with us one-on-one. I knew there were lots of conversations happening, but I wanted to sit down one-on-one with each of our partners to say, do you understand Schools of Success? Can I back everything up for you? Can I talk about what we're asking from you? Honestly, we said in years past, we've had students that might come to me as a senior and say, here's my Common App. I'm trying to figure out where did I get my dual credits? And so I told our coalition that we are all guilty of this issue that we're having, and we want to change that so that no student comes to me to ask, where did I get this dual credit? We want it to be meaningful for them. We want our dual credit partners to be in our buildings. We want our staff to be with our dual credit partners as well. So there's just, that's the work that we've been doing so far. What I did also is I sat down with the universities to say we have a barrier of our teachers not having the credentialing requirements to teach the dual credit classes. However, they may already be teaching AP. They may already be teaching AP level. They may already be teaching, and they're already teaching these courses. We have industry people too that are working for us with our CTE courses. So our colleges came together and said, we will come and work with you if we have to help your teachers get to the credentialing that we need, or if we have a teacher of record model that we can offer where your teacher will partner with our current staff so that we can work together and use their curriculum, their syllabus in order to provide dual credit for our students. I then sat down with our high schools and we started mapping out with all of our pathways that we offer. So this is a big focus on our CTE courses. It will still encompass all of our dual credit that we offer in our core as well. So for next year, some things that we're working on, you'll see all the pathways that are listed there. Those are the ones we're currently working on to increase our dual credit in those areas. So all of those, and we'll have more the following year, but this is a huge lift this year to have our partners come into our schools and connect with us to be able to give all of our students free dual credit in these areas. We are also working with our entrepreneurship pathway and our seminar classes and having our dual credit partners also look at that to see where they can align dual credit with our seminar classes. We already have Indiana Tech working through, I'll talk about that in a minute, and we have other universities like Purdue Fort Wayne that is saying because of your partnership with 3DE and what you're doing with students, we'll recognize and give credits for those students if they matriculate to our university. And of course, the dual credit work that we're doing is supporting all of the A to F work that we've been talking about. So some really big wins for us is that I've been with Snyder, I was there at Snyder for 17 years. I want to say probably biomed came in within one of my first years or two at Snyder. And since then, we were trying to get universities to really dig into the curriculum and say, we will offer this dual credit. We know that it is dual credit. Like you have to take an end of course assessment each time, which is different than being dual credit. So Indiana Tech came in as part of our coalition, sat down with 3DE, and they've been working and have come up with they came up with biomed for dual credit, and then they also have come up with how can we give our students 12 college credits out of seminar. So the work that 3DE is doing, the work that our teachers are doing in our schools, they're standing behind all of that. And then Huntington University was a university that was with us in the very beginning, and they just felt like this wasn't, something that was going to benefit them. So as I came on board, Dr. Daniel charged me with talking to Huntington University to get them back at the table, and that just happened last week. And they have agreed and signed an MOU that they too want to be a part of it, because I explained all the things that we're doing. It's not just saying, can you give us free dual credit? It's what can we also do for you? And part of that, then we have seamless admission letters that went to over 1,600 students, seniors this year, to let them know that because of the coalition, they will have seamless admission into these universities. And so this is where a 2.0 student, we have universities saying we will work with any student, and if not, they will take a second look because they believe in what we're doing in Fort Wayne Community Schools.
2.0.
2.0. They said, do not discourage a 2.0 student from applying. We will, if it's below our, if we're at a 2.5 is where our standards are, then we will take a second look at any student in Fort Wayne Community School from 2.0 to 2.49 because they believe in the work that's happening.
What do you mean when you say seamless? What?
Really, they are guaranteed admission, so they just have to apply and file their FAFSA and send transcripts in the universities. And so I sent letters to all of our seniors that qualified for that so that they knew those opportunities. And the state has a pre-admissions program, but when it comes from Fort Wayne Community Schools, it comes from your own school, it comes from your own district. I know it speaks differently to the students from my experience at Snyder.
Do those students have to pay an application fee?
Some of the schools have application fees, but a lot of them are waived.
Okay.
And I'm sure that as this goes on, some of our universities are, if you are taking college classes with us as a high school student, those fees are waived too. So as we've been moving through this, and it's just since October that I have been working with them, we have gotten them, honestly, it's been beautiful. You see all of these universities coming together in one room, and I thought, wow, that would be intimidating for me to walk in and ask for all of these things. And maybe it's peer pressure from the other universities next to them, but they are all coming and stepping forward. And the next point that I'm making is that I had come to them and said, you all have summer camps that we've been calling, asking, can we reserve some spots for our students? So that we were willing to pay for them out of our Gear Up grant. We were getting response, okay, you can have 2 in this, can have 2, and we thought that is not going to reach the amount of kids that we want. So I proposed it to our higher ed coalition that they do summer camps just for our students. Don't open it up to anyone else. It can replicate what you're doing so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Allow us, though, to fill all those seats for you. And I said we're flexible. It could be 20 kids, 30 kids, 40 kids, and we can get them there. We can figure out ways. Even Vincennes, we could do an overnight if we have to, and do something so that our students are exposed to your schools.
What kind of camps are these?
So there could be STEM camps, leadership camps, anything that have to do with our schools of success, and just helping students really see what's on their campuses as well.
And remind me, the Gear Up grant is for students in what grades to what grades?
Currently, right now, it's grades 6 and 7. It's a complicated, but there's a little bit of there's a word for this. Yes, the seniors, right, or that the high school students are benefiting from it, but that's a 1-year extension, so from our previous grant. So this right now we just started the new grant for grades 6 and 7, and it will move up with them.
So if I'm a current 8th grader, do I get advantage of the Gear Up grant? Or that's
you will not get advantage of the Gear Up grant per se, but college and career readiness. Like the students that just went on the Ivy League tour with me, the same thing. We also, out of this, that when I'm asking for summer camps, not only, I had overwhelming response from these universities. As soon as I left, I had emails coming through about our summer camps that they want to offer for our students. They also are offering teacher professional learning after that meeting, the last meeting we just had. So not only student summer camps, but teachers, how can we enrich your teachers on our universities? Because part of our goal is to not just bring our students to their campuses, but those teachers in all disciplines. A big piece of this too is counselor tours. It was a promise through our MOU that we would bring our counselors to their universities. In my 25 years of school counseling, I've never personally done a tour itself. I might bring students. Sometimes they take us over here and the students go on a tour. And I asked them to design a tour specifically for school counselors for middle school and high. So they did that for us, and I have some. So we went through each of our coalition partners and we took groups of counselors to see the programs they have. We learn about how they're working with students with IEPs, how they work with 21st century scholars, all the supports they're giving, not just the programs that they're offering. And you can see the comments I do surveys for our counselors after these, so you can see the appreciation. And I also have Matt Leopold and Todd Rupert here, just if you have questions about the tours and what their counselors are saying. I don't want to, these are quotes from them. However, I'm on every one of these. I've had students from the university say, I I've never given a tour for all counselors. I said, I know, I've never done this in 25 years. And it's just really been eye-opening for us, for all of these universities, learning about all the programs, obviously at IU Fort Wayne as well. And then a really big one that we went to recently was thank you to Shanita Bolton and with the help with this and agreeing to this, but we and Dr. Dana, we took school counselors, we did 2 from each high school to say, can we go down to Vincennes? Because we know that's a 4-hour drive. And how can we make this more intentional is that we said, let's take some seniors right now that are just struggling with, what am I doing next? And they're lost, they're a little bit lost. So we had 22 seniors that we actually took with us on our counselor tour. I did a survey with them on the way home as well, that I made them do that before they got off the bus. And 18 of the 22 said, I'm now interested in going to Vincennes from this. I hadn't been to, none of the adults that were on this tour have ever been to Vincennes. And it really blew our minds away. So they're doing incredible things there, and I'm thankful that they're on our coalition. So what's coming next is I'm working on a full crosswalk, and something that we want is, so if I'm a student in an education pathway with Manchester University, and I know that these are the dual credits that I'm earning from Manchester, the next step would be to say, Manchester, give us a layout of what else should these students be taking as dual credit that will help them with that program at your university, so that we aren't just taking all these random credits. We can never promise where all of these credits are going to be accepted. So something that we're working on with our coalition is say, if we show you all of our credits that we offer in our schools, the ones all of you are given and you are offering this one, can we agree that within the coalition that they'll be accepted? We can't promise Purdue West Lafayette, or we can't promise IU Bloomington, but can we promise our coalition partners within our partners so that's less confusing? You'll never, when we're sitting down with students, it's a really hard conversation. Say, I'm not sure where you're going, but these credits may or may not transfer. We have to look at each school that you're thinking about. How will they transfer? So we want the coalition to help us with that, to make that an easier conversation. And of course, I have an AIP that's in progress right now to keep me on track with all of this. And another big piece is credentialing alignment with our pathways as well. Okay, that is all of that. And again, if you have questions for me or 2 of my coordinators out here, you are welcome to ask those now. I know you asked throughout, but.
I guess I'd be curious, Matt or Todd, how was your college visit experience, and did you have students with you, and what did you feel like you learned from that experience as a guidance counselor versus a student or parent maybe?
Matt Leopold from Southside. One of the things that I mentioned to those who asked about the tours and my experience with it is that in the process of going through our bachelor's degree, master's degree programs for school counseling, one of the things that we do not spend much time on is the understanding of post-secondary education as far as like learning all of the different experiences and helping to help students navigate that process, other than maybe one class, and that's it. So really once we get into the role of being a counselor in the schools, we really have 3 focuses that we're working on. One is helping students through social and emotional and crisis, helping students with academic planning for graduation and after, and then post-secondary planning. And the reality is that most of the time, the majority of our time is spent helping students with personal and social and emotional, as well as the graduation piece. And not a lot of time, really. It's almost a luxury to be able to learn the aspects of what universities offer what programs, and keeping up with that. So the tours have helped, I know, myself and my staff to be able to stay better informed with helping students for understanding, not just with our partners in the coalition, but in universities in general. So.
I was trying to listen to what Matt was saying, Todd Rupert from Northrop, just so I didn't repeat the exact same thing. So in addition to that, I would say with Schools of Success, what we really look at, in our Schools of Success, business and the arts, what are those programs on these universities that we're going to that would apply to business and the arts? And if you're a student in human or health science and human services, again, what are the programs in those fields that would apply? And same thing for our manufacturing, engineering, technology, and the trades. So the cool thing is we're going, I feel like even after years of being in the field, we all learn really new things. And especially, that's really helpful because I feel like when you're on those college campuses, talking to the staff, you have that personal experience, kind of like a parent taking their child on a college visit. You have that personal experience that really helps you tell a student, a parent, a community member, this is what we learned, and this is why this is such a great opportunity for your child. So I feel like in addition just to like the new learning and how the different schools apply and how it helps us be better in our roles as school counselors, it also helps like the authenticity piece, and they really can just like feel and understand like what we've experienced as counselors on these tours. So it's very beneficial, I feel, from that lens as well.
And you guys had never done that before either, like Ms. Schroyer?
I have not, no.
I think it's a great value add for our College Coalition partners to say, hey, like you said, Mr. Schroyer, we're not just asking you to give free credit. We want to make introductions and provide experiences for our kids. And to have 18 at 22 say, let's go to Vincennes, that's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. I'm also very grateful that we've made those connections, that our kids aren't just taking dual credit courses that are going for elective, that there's more understanding, let's say, of what dual credit courses we're taking and where my child can go to utilize those dual credits, not just as general electives, because I do know that that's what happens with IU and Purdue. And our child may have worked really hard in high school with all their dual credits and had 23 or 4 or 5 or 8, 23, 8, whatever, and go there and they're all just general electives and they still have to fill that. So I think this has been a wonderful step in the right direction for our students to actually go into college and move further into what they're interested in, instead of just taking another credit. So thank you. Thank you for that hard work.
Thanks.
Any questions or comments for the team here?
You had a conversation with St. Francis last week?
We did. We had a great conversation with St. Francis. That's another university that I think was there before I arrived, but was gone by the time I got there, if that makes sense. Same with Huntington. But the conversation we had with St. Francis, they are really excited. I just sent, here's a copy of an MOU for you. We can do this. Here's what it would look like. Here's what we understand that our students, a lot of our students are staying here, and we want them to go to school here too and stay here afterwards. St. Francis was talking about the incredible things they're doing, similar to the Swiss model, with their nursing, or actually not just nursing, just healthcare in general. I know they told us 75% of their university is healthcare. And so something that they are saying that they want to avoid is really exactly what we try to avoid in high school when we have 8th graders coming in saying, I have no idea what classes I want to take. I have no idea. And the same thing is happening in the university level. They said, we want students to have the experiences that you're trying to give them right now, so that when they come to us at the university level, they aren't switching. And they said they have so many students that start in those CNA work, and they realize the hard work that they're doing as a CNA if they have to get hours there, and then they're leaving healthcare altogether. And so they said they want as much exposure as possible, because for one, there's so many other things in healthcare. It's not CNA. So some of our students think nurse, doctor, and we want to make sure that we expose them to all the different varieties.
They were the last school to join the coalition?
They
What's
haven't
that?
yet. I don't think they have yet, have they?
We're working, we're close.
You tell them if they don't sign, you're going to bring Shanita in?
Yeah. We did have a really good conversation, and I feel like it was pretty promising.
Great.
And the first one was, what was that university? The first one to join the coalition?
Manchester?
Yeah, that's right.
It was a coalition of one. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Any questions for Ms. Roy and the team? This is great work we've done. I think Dr. Dino came back from a conference, and sometimes good things happen, and this was one of them, I believe. I think you said it modeled after, was it Racine, Wisconsin?
Yes.
And this is open to all of our kids, every single one, whether they want to go to college or not. This is a great opportunity. I know I'm a close part of Manchester, but trying, and St. Francis, as Steve mentioned, Huntington now is on board. I think, I know Indiana Tech's been very active. They just announced a scholarship or free credit for some of our seminar classes.
Yes.
So this is a great way for kids to get ahead on their education and go towards their goals. So thank you.
Thank you.
Before we get on to board comments, as you can see, we have a missing member, and sometimes that happens. We were all shocked and surprised to see Jennifer here today because she was supposed to be in Louisville. I'll be absent in a couple weeks. But unfortunately, the seat that's empty next to Dr. Dean now is permanent for a while. Our good friend Ann Duff and her husband Lenny have decided to retire to Lake Hamilton, and after a period of time, sold their house. So because she sold her house, she's no longer able to serve on the school board. So she asked, and I'm happy and pleased to read this letter on her behalf. To my fellow board members, our dedicated staff, and the community I've been honored to serve, it is with a full heart and no small measure of pride that I announce my resignation from Fort Wayne Community Schools Board of Trustees after nearly 12 remarkable years of service. This is not a farewell I offer lightly. Every day on this board has been an embodiment of my love and passion for public education. Through these years, I have had the extraordinary honor of meeting the people who make this district alive with purpose, the teachers who stay long after the last bell, the counselors who hold our children together when their worlds are falling apart, the custodians and cafeteria workers who show up every single day with quiet dignity, the administrators who carry impossible burdens with grace, and most of all, the students, young people full of potential, resilience, and the capacity to astonish you if only you give them the chance. Each of you has shaped me. Each of you has made me better. As I step away, please do not stop fighting for our children. We are the best school districts in this. We are one of the best school districts in the state of Indiana, and yet we serve some of the most vulnerable families. These are not contradictions. These are a testament to the dedicated public servants, to what dedicated public servants can accomplish. All children, regardless of their zip code, their family income, their background, or their circumstances, have a constitutional and moral right to a free, equitable, and high-quality public education. Our faculty and staff honor that right every single day. They are heroes who rarely get called that. Community members, you can all play a part of the education of our youth. Please get involved as a volunteer, whether that is through Study Connection or Mentor-Mentee program or our Peace Family. Everyone can do their part to make a difference in the lives of our young people. What lit the fire in me and my advocacy for public education was the moment I recognized what was truly at stake: a coordinated, well-funded, and relentless effort to privatize the very institutions that hold our democracy together, the American public school. I have watched our state legislators year after year push a privatization agenda with stunning indifference to the will of their own constituents. I've watched billions, yes, billions with a capital B, of taxpayer dollars diverted from public schools to private and parochial institutions that operate with no meaningful transparency, no real accountability, and no obligation to serve every child who walks through their doors. These are not reforms. This is not choice. This is a slow dismantling of a public good built over generations, sold to us as progress, while the children left behind are too young to vote and too powerless to protest. So I ask you, I implore you to do the most powerful thing a citizen can do: vote. Register, research, show up at the polls, and vote for the candidates who understand that public education is not a burden to be minimized, it is a promise to be kept. Hold every school board member, every state legislator, every governor accountable. Ask them where they stand, demand answers. Your vote is not just a right, it is an act of love for every child sitting in the classroom who cannot yet cast one themselves. Serving this district has been one of the greatest honors of my life. I leave this seat, but I do not leave this fight. Public education is worth fighting for today, tomorrow, and for every generation that comes after us. With deep gratitude, enduring love for this community, and an unshakable belief in what we can accomplish together, Ann Duff, member of Fort Wayne Community Schools Board of Trustees from 2015 to Friday. Thank you, Ann. Steve, comments?
Well, two things. Going to miss Ann. She was a terrific asset to this board. She did a little homework. She joined in January of 2015, but her relationship, professional relationship, started in 1999. She served, I think, 5 or 6 years as a guidance counselor at Northside High School. She was very active in another statewide education association, the Indiana Coalition for Public Education, and she was not afraid to be down there and talk to legislators about her concerns. and our concerns from Fort Wayne Community Schools. So hopefully we'll have some formal recognition program for her in the very near future. Second thing, I just wanted to make mention of something that happened Saturday in Indianapolis, in which two individuals who have a relationship with our district were recognized as part of the Silver Anniversary Women's Basketball Team. These are graduates from the year 2001. Rachel King Mers, who's the principal at Croninger, I think, led her team to at least two state championships at Bishop Lohr's.
Three.
And then the second person is Maria Marquesano, who graduated from Elmhurst, played college ball at Butler, and is now in Indianapolis as head coach of Butler University. So congratulations to Rachel and Maria.
You're not going to mention Mr. Cooper from Thursday night, Mr. Omar Cooper?
Who?
Mr. Omar Cooper Jr.?
Oh, well, that was pretty exciting.
And tell the connection to...
His parents played athletics at Southside in Minna Reese. I think also ran track with my daughter. So she was a great athlete, and they produced a terrific young man who's going to sign a pretty healthy bonus or contract with the NFL.
Thank you, Steve. Maria?
Sorry, it's been an emotional couple days. I'll send Ann my note because I'm not going to get through that. I was able to go to Studi last week and celebrate with them their 100th anniversary. And so that was great. There was a live eagle. It was a little scary, but the kids loved it. I was like, no thank you. But it was just really nice. There were a lot of alumni who came. And so it was really nice to see the attachment to that building, and that people just wanted to come in and see the building and all the new things. And the students did a project where each classroom did a different decade. And so that was really nice to see, like from the 1920s all the way up to the 2020s. And so the students did a really good job. The staff members that stayed after, there were activities for the students and performances by the band and the cheer squad that were wonderful. And so again, just congratulations to them. And I look forward to celebrating all year.
Thank you. Maria Julie?
Just agree with what everyone had to say about Ann. She was a tireless advocate for public education and also for the students of Fort Wayne Community Schools. You know, she was active in schools, not only obviously as an employee, but after as an employee with involved with students. So yes, she will be missed. But I hope she enjoys lake life. Hope she pops into Fort Wayne every once in a while. We get to see her.
Thank you, Tony.
Well, same thing as far as Ann. You know, I've only been on the board for a couple years, but she was one of the first people who took me out and kind of just talked to me about being on the board. So I really appreciated working with her and learning from her, and she will be missed.
Thank you. Jennifer?
I'll get to Ann in a second, but I want to first congratulate the Snyder Final Four team for their 3D. I was able to be there the day that they did their case challenge to the Arby's representatives, and something that moved me, these students said, so there were 5 students, 1 male and 4 girls, and I think they all came to the conclusion when asked by the corporate at Arby's what was the favorite part of the case challenge, and it was learning to work with someone that I wouldn't normally work with, who are now my friends. And for me, that was that sold me right there. There were these students, and they spent time together outside of school, working together, and they were all different, and they all said that they were all from different, they weren't friends before, but they collaborated, and we used one of those C's, the collaborations they did, then they became friends. And learned how to work through each other's different perspectives. And that's what we do in the real world, is it doesn't matter where you're working or what you're doing. We're all from different places, and we all work together, all of our staffs our teachers are that. So there were parents there as well. We sat in a separate room from where the students were, and the students were presenting, and they had a little hiccup in their technology, and they handled it like champs. They knew how, their whole presentation was not working. And once it started, they started right from the beginning again, got right through it, and in my opinion, they're all winners. All of the kids that presented, these were all freshmen, and they're amazing. The parents that were there, you could see the pride in the parents of them actually doing something probably that some of those parents have never done, and that's standing up in front of a live audience of important people and their peers and everybody watching. So I'm super proud of the work that all of the students in that program did, because I've seen them a couple different times of those freshman class, but I've never been so impressed with young people. And I'm proud of what we put together for those students and seeing end results. And so that's just as freshmen. I can't even imagine what they're going to be like as seniors. The one thing I'd like to say about Ann, and it relates to you parents who've all showed up tonight in the past and are questioning us, is the reason I am sitting in this spot, and Noah, that is, we had a concern about something going on several years ago, and we showed up, and we sat in the board meeting, and we started to pay attention in the board meetings, and we started to listen to what was going on. And so not only were we addressing what we thought was a problem, we had board members like Julie and Steve and Maria and Ann, especially Ann. Ann came to us and sat down with us and helped us walk through some things and understand things. But in the end, we were listened to and heard from the board. The emails came back from the board, and I wanted to be a board member like them. I didn't know I wanted to be a board member at that time, but I started showing up to all the board meetings then, and I wanted to know more. And I started learning about public education and the defunding of public education, and that hurt, because I had 4 children that deserved the best education that Fort Wayne Community Schools and the state could give them. And I know that the state's not doing what they should be doing for our students. But I showed up just like you. And I advocated for my children. And that's what you're doing here tonight, regardless of whether you agree with some of the things or disagree, but you're learning. And you're learning what is going on that affects every one of our students here. And Ann was my mentor for starting to go down to the state, talk to the state legislators. I see Sandra from the union here. As a parent, this was back when they were going to go down to the State House and do Red for Ed. And I was asked to come on the bus with the union and the teachers to ride the bus to advocate as a parent. And I went, and I stood strong on the State House steps, something I'd never done before. I mean, I'm not very shy, but to stand up, I have a picture of myself I'm super proud of on the State House platform up there with a big sign yelling at our legislators on the inside of the House to fund public schools, and that my vote was coming after them in the fall. So hopefully you will all learn from that is what Ann taught me. Stand up and advocate for your schools. I went into the State House that day, and I wanted to talk to my legislators. I had no idea what to do, but there was Ann standing there telling me, you need to go to this door and this door and this door and put your name in to talk to the legislators who are in our state, who are representing us in Fort Wayne. And I did it. I didn't get to talk to everybody, but she was there for me. So she may be quiet in a quiet nature and go about her business, but man, is she a public education supporter, and she has taught me a lot, and I thank her for the service that she's done for my children, your children, and all the children before us.
Thank you, Jennifer. Dr. Daniel.
Again, in regards to Ann, she is a Lakeside Lancer.
Very proud
She's a
of
North Side grad. She's also involved in Rotary, and she's been one of the leaders in Rotary Youth Exchange Program. So she has been very, very good to this community. So she'll be missed. This past week, I think we had Rick Schutman contact me and said, hey, we'd love to have some students that would participate in our zoo opening. So we had our Franke Park little ones there as well as Wildsiders. So that was pretty cool too. Very much to what you said, Jennifer, it is good to have dialogue. It's good to have conversation, and it makes us better. So as such, that's what I'm hoping that we drive here is how do we get better? Ms. Troyer, I'll just say, she is, again, what we're doing with that crosswalk is how do you simplify all this process? And Shanita, what is it, what is the percentage of kids who stay here in Fort Wayne if they go to the local schools? What is that?
So we don't have the percentage of how many remained. We know 92% of our students stay in Indiana to go to school, and then we have around 86% that are going to school in Fort Wayne.
So that's a very large percentage that speaks to our market. And again, how does FWCS be unique in what it's offering? It's students, but it's also its parents. College costs are, it's huge. If we can assist in a direct way with meaningful dual credits, where we're also linking with how do we get credentials for teachers, this is a huge step forward because of the numbers you just heard. I mean, let's just say 80% stay within this market. So as such, that's got to help with our economic growth of our community. So I'm very pleased and very proud to say, you know, all the different people have spoken tonight in regards to how they're coming together, truly offering things that are neat, that are very unique, that you will not find in other school districts. The experiences you cannot, I don't think you can put a number on what that means. You heard it from both the school counselors, you've heard it from our teachers that have had those visits, but also you heard it from some local, I'll just say whether substantial local organizations. It makes a difference, but more importantly, it's experiences that, where are you going to get them? If you can't do it, if you're not part of Fort Wayne Community Schools, you're not going to get those. So.
Thank you, Dr. Neal. As Jennifer said, Ann took us under her wing, along with a woman who took Ian under her wing named Phyllis Bush, who I know all of you know as well. I'll call Phyllis the first advocate of traditional public education back in the day, and she grew her tent wide and broad. And I think Ann would acknowledge Phyllis and Donna Roof's impact on her, and then in turn, Ann and Phyllis's impact on Jennifer and I. As Jennifer said, like you parents out there, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. Ann was the first one we met with, and she took the time to talk with us. I've tried to do that with some of you folks as well. We didn't always agree. We weren't always sure that things were heading in the right direction. But as Jennifer said, Ann informed us, Phyllis informed us. As you heard, we may not, at the end of the day, agree on what happens here and what happens here in the near future on one particular subject or topic. But a lot's driven from the state. And when Jennifer and I started our advocacy, we had no idea the impact. We had a suspicion, but we didn't know really the impact. Julie knew that, Steve knew that, Ian knew that, people like Phyllis and Donna knew that. Maria, I'm sure, was learning it too, because she was a young board member at the time, I think. Still a young board member compared to us, yes. I just want to thank Ann. Thank Lenny and her family, Dylan and Camille, and let's forget the other daughter, because I don't really know her that well. Danielle, thank you. Sorry, Danielle. For sharing Ann with us. I know this was Ann's, other than Ann's family, this was her passion. This was her love, was fighting for our community and fighting for our students. She believed every student should have a chance. Every student should have an equitable education. And then she inspired Jennifer and I to do the same. And so that's what we try to do. We may always succeed. I'll acknowledge that, but we're sure trying. So thank you, Ann. We look forward to honoring you in another time, another way. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move for adjournment.
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No one would oppose. Thank you. Okay, we have many of you who have requested to speak. We encourage that. We're happy to hear and listen. But there are a few rules and regulations, and because there are so many tonight,